Crypto markets in shambles. Price is down. Current Bitcoin price is $34,422.75. Today is May 8th, 2022. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I wanted to go over a few things. Basically, some of the points that I think are some big hot topic news for us to go through today. So stay tuned and we will run through this.
Welcome to the BitBite podcast, your source for news and information about Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space. This podcast is meant for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not financial advice.
It's been a while since we've done one of these, but one of the first big things that I wanted to bring up is we did have another country that accepted Bitcoin as legal tender. And that was the Central African Republic, made Bitcoin legal tender. This was as of May, well, this was prior to May 8th. Of course, the IMF is raising concerns in regards to this. There was a lot of, from what I understand, there was a lot of political backlash within the country. However, it was a unanimous decision to go ahead and promote Bitcoin as legal tender within the country. So now we have two countries that have basically adopted Bitcoin as legal tender. And I think the interesting thing to take away from this is that both of these countries did not have a true legal tender of their own. So I think it kind of made sense for them to adopt Bitcoin as that legal tender, considering that Bitcoin is the payment rails as well as all the framework of the protocols already in place. Like it's an all-in-one kind of shop when you buy Bitcoin or you put Bitcoin as your legal tender within your country. It's got the trading rails already in place. You can do peer-to-peer activities without having to spend a lot of money and time trying to come up with, a central bank digital currency or try and build banks, which are very expensive within countries to be able to do the things where you can transfer money back and forth. So I think really for developing countries, I think that's a big, big win. The IMF kind of course, like I said, they were kind of against that. And then we also had news coming out from the IMF. It was the managing director of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva, states that crypto assets and stablecoins are no match for well-designed central bank digital currencies. If CBDCs are designed prudently, they can potentially offer more resilience, more safety, greater availability, and lower costs than private forms of digital money, she said. If you've been listening to this podcast at all, I have concerns with central bank digital currencies, mainly in regards to privacy and the fact that, it's just going to continue doing what they're doing now with, a dollar. When you look at the American monetary supply and its American policies, they'll continue to print and print and print and print. If it's not backed by anything, they can cut off your bank accounts at any time. They can also determine what you should and should not be allowed to spend your money on. An example could be they decide you're too fat, so you're not going to be able to buy any more junk food type items based off their CBDCs. So to me, like, the CBDCs are just, it's another version of control, and it's terrifying to me. Talk about a dystopian future, and I really hope people are aware and they understand what the differences are between Bitcoin and those types of CBDCs. Just the amount of control that's going to take place with those. Other top news right now, we did have the Fed raising interest rates by 0.5 percentage point. This has been the largest move since 2000, and this is for short-term loans. They've been doing these smaller kind of incremental raises, but effectively what this has done now, between what they've done over the past few months, is we're now sitting in an interest rate range between 0.75% and 1%. So hopefully, I'm pretty sure they're hoping this is going to tamper lending. You see home interest rates already increasing significantly. Home prices were already out of control, and now we're starting to see, the interest rates to get a 30-year note sitting at around 5.5%, 5.25%. And that was before this 0.5 percentage increase had gone in. So we'll see what that actually ends up doing to the home market. we should see some of that cool down. As to whether or not it's actually going to pop, I don't know. I have a feeling that there's been a lot of institutional investors that have been buying homes, like maybe institutional funds that have been buying up properties, which would also kind of go into the Great Reset and take part of that. But that's kind of my opinion of where I'm sitting looking at this thing here. I'm kind of curious to see what your guys' thoughts are on the whole thing. There's not a whole lot right now that's positive, other than, Bitcoin is trading lower. We're still significantly higher than what we were like 3 years ago. However, the supply on the exchanges continues to dwindle. And I don't know what it's going to take for that supply shock to kick in, but when you see the global asset markets kind of in turmoil, it makes sense that Bitcoin would go down as well, because people still treat this as a speculative trade. They don't treat it as the hardened money that those of us that have really been in Bitcoin for a while really treat it as. So something to keep an eye out on. I'm curious. I'm curious where all this is going to go. I don't know when it's going to turn around. Part of me thinks that investors are going to kind of treat Bitcoin as that risk on asset until the Fed starts to either lower interest rates and start buying up again. Once they start to do the quantitative easing again, then we'll start to kind of see that increase again. But I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen that way, or if the world as a whole will kind of wake up and shake free from all of this and start understanding, what a lifeboat really is and how Bitcoin provides that. So anyways, I meant for Rick to be on this one with me. Unfortunately, he was not available this morning, and I'm kind of running up against the wall. So I do want to say Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. I hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you guys for listening, and hopefully we'll get some more caught up here pretty soon. Peace out.